Happy Independence Day, everyone. I hope everyone is able to spend time with their family and friends and kind of reflect on how lucky we are to be living in this country. But with that, the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think they just got some good and bad news. And I always go with the good news first. Great news. Your GM, you guys have such a solid GM. Omar Khan, he was just extended. Just a fantastic general manager in my estimation. But the bad news, I mean, I don't want to throw a wet blanket on this, but I think the bad news is twofold. What about the messaging with this? What about the timing of this? Because the messaging and the timing of this is coupling right up with the desire to sign TJ Watt to a new contract. And then this also might tie into Mike Tomlin a bit. Is he even going to be the coach in the future? Is there instability ahead? And you're looking at the Steelers, your Pittsburgh Steelers have made some really aggressive moves. Some might even say shocking moves recently. TJ Watt still doesn't have a contract. So you're looking at Omar Khan. He's going to remain with the Steelers through the 2028 season, 3-year contract extension. The move comes right in the middle of TJ Watt's negotiations, and it also is right on the tails of the trade for Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith. Now, the messaging with this, both of these guys received pay bumps when coming to the Steel City. So I think it's not the debate on whether the Pittsburgh Steelers should sign TJ Watt. I think that's a no-brainer. They've got to sign him. Even though he had a down year last year, he was still a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year, finished with double-digit sacks, still made his 8th Pro Bowl, and is kind of thinking this through. Why isn't it being moved along swiftly? And I think it might be messaging. And one of the reasons that these teams are so far apart, and this is kind of coming out, this is from CBS Sports, there are many players also who have some not great things to say about their time with Mike Tomlin. None of them will come out publicly and say anything, but there's a huge disconnect. Most of the national media, they're absolutely in love with Mike Tomlin. I think there's a lot of reasons why. But it's never brought up the playoff drought and also how some of his approaches with these players are really wearing thin. And that perhaps might be yet another barrier to signing TJ Watt. And it's also, of course, a money issue, and I'm going to get into that a little bit, but let's kind of get into this GM move. Let's see who Omar Khan has been as your GM and kind of the strange timing with this. So we're looking at Mike Tomlin. He got a 3-year extension last offseason. That doesn't send a great message to TJ Watt either. TJ Watt was looking for a contract last season, and his brother JJ just came out recently saying that was kind of the Steelers' last chance to get a hometown discount on his little brother. And the Steelers decided not to, but they did give a contract to Mike Tomlin. And now GM Omar Khan is getting a similar contract, so they are coinciding as far as their time here. But it's a well-deserved show of support, right? Omar Khan, we're looking at him spending upwards of 2 decades with the team, various roles, and he took over as GM in 2022 when Kevin Colbert stepped down. So we're looking at, since then, your Steelers have made the playoffs each of the past 2 seasons, continuing this long run of non-losing seasons under your head coach. And before you're quick to call for his head, look at it from primarily a Bears guy. We made a decision to fire Lovie Smith after a 10-win season. Didn't feel like we were getting over the hump, just like you guys not winning playoff games. Getting rid of Lovie Smith, the Bears paid for it for many, many years, all the way up until Ben Johnson appears to be the answer. Don't be too quick to run him out of the building. That's my personal opinion, but let's kind of look at this added pressure. We're looking at, there's so much pressure this year because you guys did end on a 5-game skid. That's true. Khan wasted no time, though. He bolstered this roster. So what did he do? And think of this from TJ Watt's perspective, too, as players keep coming in for big money. DK Metcalf, Darius Slay, Aaron Rodgers, not a lot of money. And then Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith from the Miami Dolphins earlier this week. Khan is doing everything he can to build this team into a playoff caliber squad. And you're looking at 23 and 24. Look at these draft classes. I mean, came away with the likes of Joey Porter Jr., Keanu Benton, Nick Herbig, And then you're looking at before that, Troy Fatanu, Zach Frazier, Peyton Wilson. I mean, these last two draft classes have been absolutely fantastic in my opinion. And I think, too, Pittsburgh, they really value continuity and a strong culture. It's paid off generally, right? Khan and Tomlin being signed, that does lead to this continuity. But you guys got to get your best player on this team signed. And the timing of all this, it just seems really, really weird. The messaging looks terrible. And you're looking at TJ Watt. Let's talk about his contract a little bit. Where the Steelers might be. He's entering the final year of his deal, and it's just not going well. Adam Schefter, he added that Watt is unhappy with his contract situation. I think we already knew that. Thanks, Shefty. Really breaking news there. But now it's looking at Gary Dulac, who's usually very, very in touch with your team, from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, just really kind of a gold standard for you guys. But he was just on the Rich Eisen show on Tuesday, and he said that Watt actually wants to now become the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL in his new contract. And his deal would also have to be over 5 years so Pittsburgh can spread this money out. Now, this seems like an almost impossible task if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. Paying a player at his age a 5-year contract to spread this money out, it would obviously have to have some voidable years, right? I can't imagine that they would be prepared to pay TJ Watt until he's 36 years old. But here's straight from Dulac. The stalemate is going to be that TJ Watt wants to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. And the Steelers are looking at it that he's age 31. So in order to accommodate any kind of large contract, it can't be a 3-year deal. It has to be a 5-year deal because you need to spread this money out. Now you're looking at Jamar Chase, right? He's Cincinnati Bengal, obviously. He's currently the highest paid non-quarterback in football. He signed a 4-year extension worth $161 million with the Bengals. This money is just unbelievable. I can't even imagine that amount of money. So that probably means that Watt is seeking a deal worth over $40 million annually, right? The Steelers want to do a deal for 5 years. So you're looking at a total contract number that would exceed $200 million if it was done. He's getting older. He doesn't really post, I would say, prolific sack numbers anymore. Maybe last year was just a one-off. Maybe he will improve, but you're looking at an 8-time Pro Bowler, super deserving of a deal that's really a historic deal. Still has a few high-level years left in him, to be sure. Maybe that doesn't play out all the way to the end of the contract, but is it worth having kind of an albatross the last couple years of the contract? Your Steelers have done such a good job with the cap. Hardly any dead cap. You lead the NFL in dead cap. Actually not having the most. So it would be out of character for the Steelers to do a contract that might be a little bit of an albatross 4 and 5 years later. You just got to decide if it's worth it to get your best player in here for at least 2 or maybe even 3 more quality years, and then you have to eat the end of it. See what the voidable years look like if this is a potential contract. And I want you guys to let me know, what do you think in the comments? Is the juice worth the squeeze with TJ Watt? Are the Steelers better off trying to get a bounty as far as a trade going with another team? Just please don't do it in the division. You guys let me know. Once again, I am here to provide kind of an outsiders, kind of a non-fan view on your Pittsburgh Steelers, and I hope it's been great for you. Continue to like and subscribe, and we will continue giving you daily Pittsburgh Steelers news. We'll talk soon, and happy 4th of July.